Honourable members, it is in the form of announcement by Right Honourable Speaker. It gives me great pleasure to announce to this Honourable House that NIBS University, in collaboration with the Parliament of Ghana and under my distinguished leadership, will be hosting a breakfast meeting to officially launch the Speaker's Scholarship for Parliamentarian and Parliamentary Service Staff. This distinguished initiative, under the theme Empowering Governance through Advanced Scholarship, is to enhance policy leadership and strengthen the institution capacity of this Honourable House. The details of the event are as follows. Date, Monday, 17th day of November 2025. Venue, Sir Charles Emmanuel Quiz Conference Room on the first floor of the Speaker's block. Time, 9:30 a.m. I warmly invite all honourable members to attend and actively participate in this significant occasion, which promises to advance our collective commitment to excellence in governance. Thank you. Honourable members, that is the formal communication from the Speaker. Then we take the item numbered 5, correction of votes and proceedings, and official reports. Honourable members, in this case, we have vote and proceedings of Wednesday, 12 November 2025, and the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 13th November 2025. We shall start with Wednesday, 12 November 2025. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Yes. Deputy Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I think everybody will bear me out that I was conspicuously present in this chamber, but I've been marked absent with
Table of it. Quickly take note. Page 8. Yes, Honourable Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Sorry for taking you back to page 7. Mr. Speaker, at page 7, yesterday, Honorable Jekum Emmanuel Kojo was here. Oben Rabina was here. Dumero was here. Ibrahim Adam was here. Where is he?
Honourable members, let's take note that the vote and proceedings under consideration is Wednesday, 12 November 2025, not yesterday, 13th.
Speaker, I'm guided.
Page 9. Page 10. Yes.
Right, Honourable Speaker, page 10, I want your guidance on something. I know votes and proceedings captures events, but I also want to know whether it also captures the sequence of the events. If it does, if you look at page 10, number 8, the last line, which says, the Right Honourable Speaker withdrew from the chair at 5:02 p.m. Now, if you go back to 9, which is D, The honorable member for Salgasaf, Arozuela. If you look at the
Which votes and
statements,
proceedings are you talking about?
that's the Wednesday 12.
Wednesday 12, page what?
Page 10, go to, if you go to
Page
item
10.
number 8,
Yes.
which has where the right honorable speaker withdrew from the chair and you
Yes.
took over. If you look at it, you took over before, if you come back to page 9, before Honorable Zuela made her statement on the former First Lady, and then we had another statement from here on the former First Lady. You were on the chair. But the way it's arranged here, it appears all those statements were made before you eventually took the chair at 5:02 p.m. So I don't know whether the sequence is anything we can also look at.
Well, probably they don't want to break the chain of the statement to bring this before. That is why the time that I took over was clearly indicated. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Remember, are you on your feet? Page 20. 21. 22. And 23. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Wednesday, 12 November 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Let's go to vote and proceedings of Thursday, 13th November 2025. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8, yes. Page 7, Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, I'm back again to page 7, item number 2, under 4. Honorable Obin Erabina, yesterday she was here. She's marked absent, so if the table office can correct
Table
that.
office, take note. Page 8, yes.
Speaker, thank you so much. Still on page 7, item 5. Item 5B, II. After the word Johnson, I urge that we delete that word and insert Asiedu. In its current form, is not Asiedu. Then the same item 5, we go to X. Brigadier General Glover Ashon Annan. My checks clearly shows that he is rather the Commissioner for Custom Division of the GRA. But what we have here against his name,
Table
the
office,
clerks could check.
please
Then again,
cross-check
on a minor
and do
note,
the correcting.
the abbreviated nature of Brigadier here should be looked at again. Normally, it's done BRIG without D. Thank you.
Honourable member, regarding the brigadier, that is what you may perceive to be the correct position. But what was written to the table office is what has been captured. The written announcement that was given to the table office is what the table office has captured. So between that written announcement and what you are saying, which one should we take to be the correct position?
Yes, so I was only urging Mr. Speaker that they should check or double check. Again, I believe that my chairman's
But
name...
to correct something, you need to be sure that what you are saying is the correct position. Why will you ask me to go and check something that is correct?
We are guided by literature.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the vote and proceedings of 13th November 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, let's turn to official reports. We have official reports of 4th November 2025 and 5th November 2025, and we shall start with 4th November 2025. Honourable members, is for your correction. Any correction? Yes.
Speaker, unfortunately, we've not been served. We don't have.
Is it not on the console? Email. We are moving towards paperless. So they have sent you email which contains the vote and proceedings. And on the console, we also have the official reports of 4th November 2025. Honourable members, any correction? In the absence of any correction, the official reports of 4th November 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. We also have official reports of 5th November 2025 under correction. Honourable members, any correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official reports of 5th November 2025 is also adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, item number 6, business statement for 5th week. Chairman of Business Committee. Well, Vice Chairman of the Business Committee. Yes, let me hear you.
Speaker, our friend should resume his seat because the business statement is supposed to be presented by the chair as the orders provide. So the deputy leader knows what to do. You should respect the chair by making the due application. And that decision would have to be taken by the chair, whether he will take it instead.
Honourable member, right from the onset, I have granted that application when the majority leader indicated at the lobby that he may not be around. So, yeah. Vice Chairman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the business statement for the 5th week ending Friday, the 21st of November, 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee met yesterday, Thursday, the 13th of November, 2025, and arranged business of the House for the 5th week ending the 21st of November, 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee accordingly submitted its report as follows. Arrangement of business, formal communication by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you may read any available communication to the House. On questions, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee has scheduled the following ministers to respond to questions asked of them during the week. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice has 5 questions. Minister for Fisheries and Agriculture has 4. The Minister for Roads and Highways, 10 questions. Minister for Interior, 5 questions. Minister for Food and Agriculture, 5 questions. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, 8 questions, bringing us to a total of 37 questions for the week. Mr. Speaker, in all, 6 ministers are expected to attend upon the House to respond to 37 questions during the week. The questions are as follows. Mr. Speaker, 6 of the questions are urgent questions and 31 are oral. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 91(2), Minister of State may be permitted to make statement on government policies. You may also admit statement by honorable members in accordance with Order 93. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the Order 159, bills may be presented to the House for the first reading. However, those of urgent nature may be taken through various stages in a day in accordance with Order 160. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week and reports from committees may also be presented to the House for consideration. Motions and resolutions. Mr. Speaker, motions may be debated and other consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. Referrals at committees. Mr. Speaker, attached is the list of pending referrals before the committees for the attention of the House as part of the effort to remind the respective committees to expedite works on the referrals and reports to the House. A total of 292 referrals have been made to 25 committees for consideration and reports to the House. Honorable members are hereby notified that the committee has commenced scheduling the laying of reports on referrals at committees. Committees are expected to present the report for consideration by the House. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee urges all committees to prioritize consideration of the referrals and promptly report to the House in accordance with Order 2674. Commencement of budget statement and economic policy of government. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 195.3, the Business Committee has programmed the commentary on the budget statement and economic policy of the government to commence on Tuesday the 18th and end on the 26th of November 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee proposes that the commentary be scheduled in the various sectors provided below and by day. Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday, the 18th of November 2025, the sectors who will be giving commentary are Finance, Budget, the Economy, and Public Interest Committees. On Wednesday, the 19th November 2025, it will be the turn of the Agriculture, Trade and Industry, Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Environment, Science and Technology. Speaker, on Thursday, the 20th of November, it will be the turn of Roads and Highways, Transport, Works, Housing and Sanitation, Energy and Green Transition. On Friday, the 21st, Lands and Natural Resources, Defense and Interior, Local Government, Legal and Judiciary. On Tuesday, 25th, Gender and Social Protection, Health and Education. on Wednesday, the 26th, Mr. Speaker, it will be the conclusion of the commentaries by the majority and the minority leaders. According to the Business Committee, recommends the following time allotment for contribution by honorable members. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader and the minority leader will be given 1 hour to make their comments. Other leaders will have 30 minutes. Ministers will have 15. Chairpersons and ranking members of committee will have 15. Vice chairperson and deputy ranking members, 10. And other honorable members will have 5 minutes. Mr. Speaker, on... Okay. What? Okay. Sure. And request that the Hansard captures the entire statement. Post-budget. Mr. Speaker, just a second to clarify something. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I missed a couple of things before the conclusion, so I will. Submission of budget estimate. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee urges the Ministry of Finance and other ministries and independent constitutional bodies to submit estimate to the House timeously for the consideration and approval. Mr. Speaker, on post-budget workshop, in view of the presentation of the budget statement and economic policy of government, a post-budget workshop is scheduled for Saturday, which is tomorrow, to Monday, the 17th of November 2025 at Alisa Hotel, Northridge in Accra. Honorable members are entreated to take note and participate fully. Now, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, in accordance with Order 2162 and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week. Mr. Speaker, as I said, I would request that the handout captures the entirety of the business statement. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman of the committee. Honorable members, business statement is duly presented. And I now welcome comment from honorable members. The floor is open. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with regards to the days allotted for commentary, I did not hear anything on defense and interior.
Yes, any further comments? But honorable member, have you looked at page 2? Table 4, Friday, 21st November 2025. Yes, any other comment? Honorable, have you looked at it?
I'm trying to.
Very well. Honorable Eko.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I realize that on the 20th of November, one of my statements have been accepted and scheduled for me to make it. But I actually submitted 2 statements. The other one, I have not heard anything about it. I do not know whether it has been accepted or corrections will have to be made.
Well, I advise that you get in touch with the table office so that
And,
you can resolve it with them.
And secondly, I also have questions that have been filed for about 3 weeks now, which I did. I have not
Similarly,
received.
liaise with the
I have
table
not,
office.
that I did. I have not received any response from them. Thank you.
So liaise with them. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, let me draw attention to Works and Housing and Sanitation. We have two committees. We have Works and Housing, Water and Sanitation. So if it can be separated.
Where have they put them together? And why do you ask that it be separated?
Mr. Speaker, we have two committees now. It
Yes,
used to be
they are dedicating that particular day
for the two committees.
for the two sectors to debate.
Okay. I thought it would be Water and Sanitation separate from Works and Housing.
Why? They are not doing it on daily basis. Then it's not also on committee basis. It's not that they are dedicating one day for a committee or on a committee basis. Honourable members, any further issue? Yes, Honourable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, thank you so much. Speaker, I thank your committee, particularly the chairman, for the statement. My concern is on the subject matter contributors. Over here, we've been clearly told how many times each member, depending on the category you fall in, can contribute. So may I know, like my committee, local government and rural development, is the ratio the same as we had last time?
Honourable member, I think you are getting it wrong. It's not how many times you speak, but how many minutes you speak.
Sorry,
and
Speaker.
What is indicated here is that the majority leader, minority leader will have 1 hour. And other leaders and ministers will use 30 minutes, ministers will use 15 minutes, chairman and ranking members of committees will use 15 minutes, vice chairperson and deputy ranking members will use 10 minutes, and other honorable members will use 5 minutes.
So, Speaker, clearly, I was trying to refer to the time allocation.
Yes.
Yes. So my point is that on a subject matter like local government, a sector like local government,
They are not allocating the time per committee.
Speaker, my contention is not on the time allocation for the various sectors.
Yes.
Mine is about how many members per the two sides can speak on a sector, a particular sector.
That is not an issue for the House to decide. It's an issue for the leadership to decide.
Yes, so
you contact your leaders, but it's not a subject matter for discussion by the House. Yes, Honorable Chiwete.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was just wondering if it's possible for us to plead with leadership, the two leaders, to reduce their time 1 hour. 1 hour. Then we have many members who also want to say 2 or 3 things. So that if they could reduce their time to maybe 45 minutes, then we have more members also contributing. If not, 1 hour. Well, that is my view. I plead with leadership. Let's look at it. So that we have 45 minutes for leaders. Then the 15 minutes could be shared among other members to also have their say. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Well, it's a good suggestion. Leadership, take note. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for indulging me. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the business statement, and Mr. Speaker, I see nothing on the LWAC military recruitment disaster. Very respectful, Mr. Speaker, I do agree that there are ways by which some of these things come. However, I also think that on our own accord, we can initiate a discussion on it, Mr. Speaker, so as to come across to the Ghanaian people, to be sensitive, to be concerned. Mr. Speaker, it's a very big disaster, which, Mr. Speaker, should not repeat again. And so, Mr. Speaker, I think that the business committee ought to capture it.
What are you expecting the business committee to capture on EWAC
Mr.
disaster?
Speaker, very respectfully, there are various tools by which we do our work. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, you are a repository of the processes and procedures in this House. Mr. Speaker, even when the young ones like us don't know how to have it raised, given the national importance of what happened, Mr. Speaker, 6 girls, 6 young women lost their lives.
Honourable member.
Several of them have been injured. Mr. Speaker, we cannot.
Honourable
Mr.
member.
Speaker, we cannot pretend as
Honourable member, kindly resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker, we can't pretend that nothing has happened. That is
Honourable
what
members.
is happening. Something must be done.
Honourable member,
Oh, so you
your
don't
conduct
care.
is becoming
You
disorderly.
don't care about the dead.
Honourable member, may you resume your seat. Honourable members, we were in this house when the Minister for Defence came to brief the House and indicated that a committee is being formed to investigate the matter. Honourable members, we have taken 2 statements, one each from both sides. So if you want an issue to be tabled, you know what to do. You know what to do. Honourable members, Speaker indicated that we will now be using the hammer. So kindly take note. Yes.
Speaker, if you may indulge me on the subject matter of the unfortunate incident that occurred at EWAC. Speaker, you rightly recall that there were statements. I also do recall that the Speaker gave some consequential directives that the Committee of Defense and Interior should engage on same matter and report to plenary. I can understand the worry of the honourable member. Probably Mr. Speaker, what we should probably look at is, because of the urgency and associated with same matter, probably if we could give some timelines, because the Speaker has already directed that the Standing Committee on Defense and Interior should delve into the matter and report to us. Maybe we could give them a fortnight or 3 weeks for them to report to plenary for Parliament to engage on. But I recall vividly that those were the marching orders of the Speaker.
Clearly, you are right.
Yes.
All these things has happened. And when a matter is referred to a committee, the rules are clear as to when the committee is supposed to report. I don't intend to vary the orders of the Speaker by way of giving timeline to the committee. The time within which the issue is supposed to be reported to this House is spelled out clearly by the rules of the court. So, honourable members, I don't intend to vary the directives of the Speaker. And let us not create the impression that when the incidents happened, Parliament did not do anything. I'm reliably informed that the Committee on Defense and Interior have started some work on it. They've done some visitations, and they are working. Well, on this note, I'll give the floor to the Vice Chairman to respond to issues that needed to be responded to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the time allotment for the leaders, there is only 2 of them who are speaking on the 26th. So 1 hour doesn't even if you lessen it, it doesn't allow anyone else to speak on that day. So I'm sure many contributions will be taken as possible on the day that is relevant to a particular, subject area or sector. So I don't think that should be a problem. It was properly thought through, and there wouldn't be any need to reduce the time for the leaders to talk. I think the other issue, Mr. Speaker, you have addressed it. The matter, as you rightly said, has been referred to the Defense and Interior. So we await the submission of the report for further discussion on it. These are the two matters that I think I recollect were asked. If there's anything else that I'm missing, if my attention can be drawn to that, then I will respond to that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Che Asamoah.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. On page 2, the debate schedule, the sectors, I realized that chieftaincy and religious affairs is conspicuously missing, even though I see culture and creative arts on Wednesday, the 19th of November. So if maybe that of chieftaincy and religious affairs can be placed with the local government.
Honorable Member, good observation. Yes, Honorable Kingsley Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for indulging me. On page number 3 of the business statement, I've seen the numbering is different. One is page 1, page 2, then the next one, page 1, page 3. Post-budget workshop, which is scheduled to take place at Aliza Hotel. I would like to know whether it's residential or non-residential. My second issue has to do with, if you look at the console, I've seen that the principal documents we use in this house, the standing orders is captured on the console, but the Constitution is not captured. If it's possible for us to also have the Constitution placed on the console, we'll be grateful. My last one has to do with, Mr. Speaker, I think on Wednesday, we met with the PURC. And when we met them, we realized that the Ghana Water Company Limited, when they were giving their presentation, the nature of the water, the rivers, were so bad. The turbidity levels were so high. I wanted to file an urgent question to get the Minister for Works, Housing, and Water Resources to be here. But looking at the space of time, I would like to plead with you, if it pleases you, that we can have the Minister for Works, Housing, and Water Resources to at least brief us about how our measures his ministry is taking to ensure that the water is treatable and will be right for consumption, because it is so bad and the cost involved in treating the water, Mr. Speaker, is so high. So because of the space of time, in filing an urgent question, if it's possible for us to get the minister here to explain to us what he is doing to ensure that the water is not poisonous and is conducive for consumption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, let me do a bit of correction. I think we are all making this mistake. If you file a question, don't file the question and just leave it there. Follow up to ensure that your question is admitted. First, before the question can be admitted, your whips must recommend the question or the statement for admission. Now, when it is admitted, it is transmitted to the clerk. Then, when it comes to programming, you must again follow. to ensure that, oh, your question is programmed to be taken. It is not possible for the entire House or the person presiding to know that you have filed a question, but your question did not appear. But if you follow it up with the table office, then you are getting them reminded that the question that you have filed needed to be programmed. So a little bit of follow-up would help in the circumstances.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, it seems you didn't get my date. I'm saying that I had wanted to file an urgent question, but because of the space of time and also the budget commentary that we are going to have, I'm pleading with you, if it's possible, that instead of filing the urgent question, you could program the minister to come here within next week to apprise us about what he is doing to ensure good water quality for our consumption. The question is not yet filed, but because of the space of time. But if it's possible, and this request finds favor with you, and you can program him for us, I'll be happy.
Honorable Kinsley Nyako,
Mr. Speaker.
if the space of time cannot allow the urgent question, which will result into the business committee programming the minister to come here, what space of time would allow the business committee to so motu program the minister to come and brief the House?
Mr. Speaker, you win.
Thank you
okay.
very much. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I refer you to page 7 of the business statement. Mr. Speaker, where urgent questions have been captured. Mr. Speaker, I filed 3 urgent questions relating to our relations with the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, these questions were directed at the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Mr. Speaker, I see that two of the 3 urgent questions have been programmed to be taken on Friday the 21st of November. Mr. Speaker, for want of time, I will not quote the first 2 questions. But there is a particular question, Mr. Speaker, which the table office acknowledged and referred to the minister, which is not being captured, Mr. Speaker. And I think that if I could crave your indulgence to see if there's space for that question to be captured, because that question relates to whether or not the agreement and or memorandum of understanding with the United States to receive third country deportees has been, the said agreement or memorandum of understanding has been ratified by Parliament, Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Article 75 of the Constitution. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, you will recall that I think last week or 2 weeks ago, the majority leader in presenting the business statement actually committed and promised that the minister will be coming to the House to brief the House on this particular agreement. So, Speaker, I'll just crave your indulgence. If that particular urgent question can also be programmed to be taken for this particular day, since the minister is appearing before the House to answer these questions. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, I think the subject matter is quite important because, Mr. Speaker, you know that even today there are issues relating to how these deportees are being treated in our country.
Honourable member, you have made your point. May I crave your indulgence to get in touch with table office?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Speaker. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you.
Yes, may you yes, let me add the honourable member, then I'll give you the floor, then we'll come to leaders.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My point is on the budget commentary. Page 2, 4C, 4C, yes. Other honorable members, 5 minutes. Mr. Speaker, it's we, the ordinary, I'm talking on behalf of the other members that doesn't have any position. the 5 minutes is always very, very inadequate for us to make any meaningful contribution. So I want to beg leadership, and we are going to beg them through you, so that at least if they can make it 7 minutes or 10 minutes for us, so that at least we will be able to also make some meaningful contribution than always starting before you can make any major contribution, the time will be up. So we are pleading, and we are pleading through you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Vice Chairman of the Committee.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, on the issue of the post-budget workshop, it's going to be a non-residential, though it's happening at Alisa Hotel, but it's non-residential. So the idea is to close at a decent time, around 5 o'clock, so that members will be able to reach their homes on time. But it is non-residential. That's my understanding. On the issue of we will have to look at that with the clerk on putting in chieftaincy, maybe together with local government, because we have local government here. So chieftaincy will be together with local government, just as we will have employment and labor relations with public interest on the Tuesday. Mr. Speaker, I think I'm done, unless there's any other.
Yes, leadership, starting from the minority.
Speaker, with respect, my colleagues will come in, but I need to step out for another meeting, so they've obliged me. I would just raise 2 issues. Mr. Speaker, first, the honorable member for Honorable Oponkroma, Mr. Speaker, had raised this issue of government policies not being announced in Parliament, the initiatives that have been talked about. We had assurances from the Honorable Majority Leader that steps are being taken to program the ministers to discuss these policy initiatives with Parliament. That has not been programmed yet, so I would want to crave the indulgence of the Deputy Leader to follow up on that. Second, Mr. Speaker, this disaster that occurred at Elwak, yes, the Minister briefed us on the occurrence. However, interventions, measures to be taken are matters that, Mr. Speaker, are very important to this House. It is important for the Minister to be programmed to share with us what steps the Military High Command is taking to prevent the reoccurrence of this matter. The respected Minority Chief Whip, in his statement, called for certain actions to be taken. Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't have Parliament as a mere talk shop. Our condolences to the bereaved families, but this is not one of the matters that we should just talk about and allow it to die. 6 young citizens losing their lives because they're looking for a job. It's very important. Some are still in the hospital, and Parliament must inquire into this. The Minister must brief us. So, Mr. Speaker, it's very, very critical.
So, Minority Leader,
yes,
I recall that after the statement, Speaker gave some consequential directives to a committee responsible for defense and interior. And that is one tool that Parliament can use to inquire into matters of this nature.
Mr. Speaker, I was right here. Respectfully, yes. I agree with you.
Yes.
That is so. But, Mr. Speaker, I am talking about ministerial action.
Yeah, but you said Parliament must inquire.
Yes, I'm saying that.
After the directives has been given to the
Mr.
Defense
Speaker,
and Interior.
For want of a better word, sometimes we all make mistakes in language use. I would therefore yield to that. What I meant to say was that with Parliament giving that mandate to inquire, it is equally important for ministerial action to be taken for briefing. In any event, that ministerial action will perhaps serve as the primary data, the primary source of information to aid Parliament. So that is the reinforcement I wanted to seek, Mr. Speaker. You. Mr. Speaker, the other thing of concern for us as minority is this issue of bail conditions. Mr. Speaker, we know that...
Bail condition at where?
Mr. Speaker, lately, a lot of our compatriots, Mr. Speaker, they are being prosecuted, they go to court, they walk in themselves, they are issued with criminal summons, they go themselves, and when they go, very onerous bail conditions are imposed on them. Mr. Speaker, we are not in any way bringing this matter up to attempt interfering in judicial processes. No. We are raising it as a matter of national concern. The impression we give. And I would want to make a call on the leader of the House to program the learned Attorney General to apprise us on some of these matters. Mr. Speaker, if a bail is imposed mainly because of a charge sheet or the fact of the case, without the other party being heard, it's quite worrying. We are concerned, and we believe that if perhaps the Attorney General comes here to brief us why some of these onerous bail terms, we'll be able to interrogate the matter, because it's quite serious where a court grants bail and an accused will be in custody for several weeks. Mr. Speaker, it is quite worrying. My last point, Mr. Speaker, has to do with a question that has finally featured in the business report, business statement, item 1 IVA. Mr. Speaker, is long overdue. Each time it features, there is one excuse or the other. I would want to plead with the table office to ensure that proper transmission of this is received by the learned Attorney General. Because the question to ask the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the basis for the administrative decision by Yoko to demand justification as a bail condition for suspects in recent times, particularly appointees of previous government, is of national concern. It's been since March, and each time the learned Attorney General is unable to appear. So I don't want it to just future without action. So table office, please, it is coming on the 18th.
Yes, you've been given a date for it.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to sleep on my right. We get it programmed,
yes,
and each time there's one excuse or the other. It's the reason why I'm raising it for the first time. I've never raised this.
Yes, but some excuses may be due to an act of God.
Mr. Speaker, it is possible.
Yes.
Or perhaps maybe the minister is having a press conference and is unable to come. That could also be another...
But that cannot be an act of God.
Could be also another reason. But Mr. Speaker, I think I will rest my case on this. The deputy majority leader says we should be boko, you know, so we will be. There's no problem today. We'll handle you gently, you know, so I'm done. I'm sure you are happy. Mr. Speaker,
yes. Any more from minority leadership? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the Business Committee indicated that debates will commence on Tuesday, on the comments on the budget will commence on Tuesday. But just wanted to draw your attention that if you can try to make copies available of the budget so that members, hard copies, so that members will be able to have the copies of the budget so that it can enable us as we prepare to start the commentary on Tuesday. And also, I know that you have stated that under Order 159...
Honorable, I have an information for you. Every member has a copy of the budget in the pigeonhole already.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, the chairman indicated that under Order 159, bills may be presented, but the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender Q, the LGBTQ bill, has been in the banner for long. It's surfaced, and the last time Speaker gave some commentary on it. It has taken too long. When will we introduce the LBGT bill in Parliament? And then the other thing is that last week there was an issue that the minority leader drew the attention of the majority leader to the effect that the unfortunate to the fact that the unfortunate incident that happened on the 6th of August, the helicopter tragedy, Parliament haven't been officially briefed, even though the committee have submitted its report. So it was agreed that we should get the ministers responsible, either the defense minister or the interior minister, to brief us as a house with regards to this matter. Mr. Speaker, because when you listened to the budget yesterday, you realize that the government intends to buy 4 helicopters and 2 jets. The government intends to spend $1.2 billion. And if it is a response to what have happened, the tragedy of August 6th.
Honorable Habib, kindly take note that at this point, we are considering the business statement, but we are not debating the budget. The appropriate time will be made available for you to debate the budget. For now, we are considering business statement.
Mr. Speaker, rightly so. Mr. Speaker, what I was saying is that last week it was agreed that the responsive ministers should be programmed to appear before the House to brief us on what happened. The committee that His Excellency the President set up submitted their report, but we haven't been briefed. And I was just making the point that if yesterday, in the minister responsible for finance presentation of the budget statement, there was an indication that they are going to buy 4 helicopters and 2 jets at a cost of $1.2 billion. If it is in response to the tragedy that happened, then we need to be briefed as a house. Mr. Speaker, I haven't gone into the details of the... Mr. Speaker, I haven't gone into the details of debating the budget or saying something. I'm just passing the point. But it is a fact that you want to buy 4 helicopters and 2 jets. I'm saying that it's public knowledge that you intend to buy 4 helicopters and 2 jets.
Honorable Deputy Minority Whip, please do the needful.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's just that some of the backbenchers do heckle a lot. You don't need to argue with me. You see, Mr. Speaker, I don't know why he's arguing. Whether whether you were here before or not, I'm a leader and I'm on the front bench, and you are there. So you should understand that. Mr. Speaker, the copies you indicated, normally the estimate, when we get to the consideration of normally the estimate delay. So business committee chair, if you can actually make that too as part of your work to make sure that estimate doesn't delay, because we might move more than 30 to 40 motions in this house. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any other issue? I will come to the majority side, please. Please, I will come to the majority side and take your comment. Yes? Yes? Honorable Chief Whip, with all due respect, I'm now dealing with the leadership.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Deputy Leader for the presentation. I'll start off by making some observations on the number of questions that have been scheduled for the ensuing week. That's why I see 5 questions for the Attorney General, Fisheries and Agriculture 4. I think except roads and highways, all the other questions are under 10. I know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that we have a backlog. We have a backlog. Sectors just as employment, land, education, tourism. There are a number of questions that are that form part of the backlog. And Deputy Leader, you agree with me, there was an earlier position of 10-question rule, that 10 questions per day in an attempt to ensure that we dispense of the backlog as practically as possible. So I want to humbly suggest to you, yes, I'm aware we have budget debate, but we had also agreed that notwithstanding the debate, we will still take questions. After the debate, motions after motions, we are heading towards appropriation. It will be practically impossible to be able to take many of the 300 questions that are outstanding. So, Leader, I am part of the business committee. I want to suggest, let's make room so that we can at least respect the 10-question per day rule. And then let me also help you here and also suggest that because we'll be having the debate, we should also be looking at extended sitting, so that if the House adopts that we should have extended sitting, then we can have the 10 questions per day rule, and we can manage it, reduce the follow-ups, so that eventually we'll be able to do away with as many questions as possible. If you speak to many of our colleagues, there is a yawning worry on the number of questions that are still outstanding, and colleagues are quite worried about it. So, Deputy Leader, if you can take this in good stride. We see the attachment, over 200 referrals. That's quite historic. 200 referrals. And the last time, the position of the majority leader was that we should schedule these referrals and cause the committee leadership to come and speak to them. Well, it may be a good attempt, but if it is the case that you have scheduled the committee chair and the reports are not ready, it may be much ado about nothing. I want to humbly suggest that the leadership, both sides, we should probably be engaging these committee leaders. They may be having a genuine cause, because 290 referrals still outstanding cannot be ordinary. So we may be seeing this challenge from our point of view. we have to also appreciate how they see the challenge from their point of view. Then we can be attempting to meet each other midway in the resolution of the problem. We have given our word that will help your side to ensure smooth prosecution of government business. But typically, the committee cluster system, you know, itself is a challenge. It may have its benefits, but during the course of budget, especially when we start demanding the reports for the motions to be taken, it has always been a challenge. When we were on the other side, it was a challenge. So, Deputy Leader, let's find a way of engaging the clerk and the table office so that for the budget, we could compromise on the cluster system and rather adopt a system where we can deal with these motions as soon as possible. Then there is also a challenge of, if I have our attention, a challenge of the printing room. I'm being practical here. Printing room, there's some challenge there. That one maybe I'll relate to. They have real challenges with some issues which I wouldn't want to elucidate on the House floor. We have to find a way of getting them ready so that when we start the motions, we can take them as many as we should. My last one has to do with questions on lands. I have a copy of a letter which has been done to the Minister for Lands. The fact of the matter is, it was the Minister of Lands and then the Minister for Employment. The two sectors were the sectors who were due in terms of their questions. And we got the Minister of Land coming and assuring us that he's ready next week for him to come and answer the question. I've seen that all the questions that stood in the name of the Minister of Lands had been reprogrammed. But we left out that for employment. We shouldn't allow this to add on to the backlog. Oh, Chief Whip, I'm helping your work. Oh, yes, but I'm talking about, yes, so the one for employment should be added to the one for lands. But my last one is a caution. We don't want excuses. Kwekube. Mr. Speaker, we don't want excuses. Already, many of the questions have been left out. So I beg you, we plead with you. The few that we have agreed, let's give a prior notification and a reminder to the ministers that this House will not accept, I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to drink coconut, all those excuses. It will not be tenable. So that we can deal with as many of the backlog questions as possible. You can see it's a very popular call from the reaction from even your side. They want their questions answered. Otherwise, your back will be empty. All their questions are not being answered.
Honourable members, I direct that I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to drink coconut should be expunged from the record.
Speaker, that's fine. I respect the decision. But I know some ministers who like coconut from Brazil. I know some ministers, they like coconuts from Brazil. But that is a discussion for another day. So, in conclusion, Deputy Leader, I plead with you. Those questions, let's try and up the numbers a bit. And then, basically, I'm saying that we should try and give them notification for them to be aware, and they will come and answer the question. Then, in conclusion, printing room. Then, tomorrow, okay, Chief Whip says he wants to speak to. I wanted to relate to the post-budget workshop, but Chief Whip says he wants to relate to that one. So I may probably leave that one for him. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Deputy Minority Leader, do you have any issue to say? Yes, I'll come to Majority Leadership.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Let me commend my leader for ably presenting the report. Speaker, if I recall correctly, the directive that we gave at the meeting yesterday was that we should indicate the committees when they should present reports on the referrals. But inadvertently, what has been advertised is just the referrals. So what we actually directed was that we should inform the committees that from next week on a specific date, the House expects reports of the following committees in respect of the referrals that have been made. Because the referrals have already been referred to them and advertised, so they know. But what we have done is a re-advertisement of the referrals. So if they can take note. Then two, Mr. Speaker. Two. Speaker, if we look at page 3 of the report, item number 6, the post-budget workshop, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, last week by this time, we announced a seminar for leadership of committees, just leadership. And Speaker, if the minority chief whip will bear me out, we really struggle to even whip our members, even though it was in-house. Because members have competing interests, so you have to struggle to get them to attend. That was even for leadership. Now, we are just being informed that the post-budget retreat will be non-residential. Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with the clerk. Please. We want to plead with the clerk that the post-budget workshop, to make the works of myself and the minority chief whip easy, so that we can get full participation of members, it should be residential. If somebody is in Kasua and we are asking the person to drive to Accra Monday morning to attend a post-budget workshop, the person may not prioritize it. That is why it's important that the whips are consulted in these matters. We were not consulted. And it's unfortunate that I have to bring this matter to the floor. It's very, very important that if I don't have my members in-house, it's difficult for me to whip them from their homes wherever they are, especially on a weekend, when there are funerals and other social activities competing for their time. So, Mr. Speaker, we are pleading with you to speak to the clerk that this post-budget workshop, as much as possible, it should be in-house, it should be residential, let me so state it, so that members can have the full attention to participate fully. Because the essence of the post-budget seminar is to equip members with the requisite ability to debate the budget effectively. And I don't want to have an empty seminar chambers, and then the whips we are blamed. Then, so Mr. Speaker, that is about that. Then, Mr. Speaker, number 3, I want to plead with the clerk's office that the budget documents have been submitted yesterday. As we speak, members are complaining that they haven't received their copies. So, no, they've been to their pigeonholes. They are telling, please, with all due respect, members have come to me so many times today.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You are a government whip.
Mr.
So
Speaker,
I think
yes.
for certain matters, you can liaise with the leader of government business, and then we can get the issue resolved.
Mr. Speaker, I take the guide, but I'm saying that the budget distribution ought to have been done expressly yesterday when they were presented for members to begin to read. Sometimes you are compelled to bring these matters. This is not about leader of government business, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect. This is about the clerk's office. The distribution is delaying, and members will blame the whips for not having the documents.
Honorable member, you know the clerks don't print the budget.
So I'm pleading with the clerk to have the budget documents distributed to members expressly before close of business today. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not them. They are not doing it. So, Mr. Speaker, this will be my comments on this matter. I thank you for.
Honorable Habib, I believe strongly that the method that we have adopted, we should all appreciate it. The majority was quiet. I give the floor to the minority, and then you are done, and now give the floor to the majority. So please, for once, please. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think you answered or you gave a guide on the issue that Minority Leader raised to do with the unfortunate disaster at Elwak. So I believe that we are all waiting for what the Speaker has directed in terms of getting a report on it and be able to take the matter further. The issue of bill condition and all that, Mr. Speaker, has no space in my business statement here, but I will discuss it with my leader on that. The budget, as I understand, is being distributed now into the various pigeonholes. But I want to assure you that by the end of today, everyone should have a copy, a hard copy of the budget, because that is what we are going to work with over the weekend when we are doing the budget workshop. I think, Honorable Habib, you were at the business committee meeting, I'm not quite sure, but my recollection is that you were there when leader raised the LGBTQ issue, that it needs to find its space and get it here. But I think, and I will relate that with the issue of the questions. Mr. Speaker, yes, we do have a lot of backlog that we need to clear. But my concern is that, Mr. Speaker, the manner in which we ask questions and answer them here does not usually allow us to take as many questions as possible. When you have a question being asked, and then you have a follow-ups, and that tends to go on. I mean, according to, in our standing orders, 77-2, I believe, we are supposed to spend an hour on question time, but we do sometimes 3 hours on it. So it basically pushes everything, backwards, and we are not able to accommodate as much as we should. But when I look at next week, considering that we are doing a budget debate, Chief Whip, Minority Whip, I've counted the questions, and I realized that on the average, we have about 8 questions a day. 8 questions a day. So we are quite close to the 10 you are talking about, considering that next week is also the budget debate. I think that should be okay. But then going forward, we need to keep an eye on making sure that we get the questions that we have agreed. But I will also urge leadership to guide our members to make sure that the questions are asked precisely, follow-ups are precise, and we're able to keep to the 1 hour time limit that we've given ourselves. If you are spending 3 hours for doing questioning, then we probably will not be able to achieve much. So it should actually cut both ways in terms of how we go about this. But I think in the next business committee meeting, we need to discuss a few things and streamline them. I do agree with you on the cluster issue, and I think that obviously need to be discussed with the clerks and the table office to make sure that, you know, we resolve that issue. As you said, you didn't want to mention the printing room issue here, so I wouldn't also want to mention it here. We will make sure that we get the issue of that resolved. Mr. Speaker, I don't think the helicopter issue has any space here. We have a budget debate coming next week. Honorable member may want to discuss his helicopter matters, but not in the business statement for today. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful. I related with the Majority Chief Whip on the issue that I wanted to say, so it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, business statement as presented is hereby adopted. Honourable members, permit me to acknowledge the student guests in our midst. We have New Avalavi MA Basic School, led by Ousu Moses, teacher. They are from Ketu North, the number 71. Then we have Mighty Vision Educational Complex, led by Ode Bismarck, teacher. They are from Etiwa East, the number 60. Then we have Chifohima Secondary School, led by PZ Francis, teacher. They are from Hima Lower Dentra, the numbered 70. Honourable members, we also have Great Assurance Preparatory School, Akim Eshen. They are led by Sam Kweku Frederick, proprietor of the school. Asine Manso Akroso is where they are coming from, the number 63. We also have Sorpon Catholic Boys and Girls, led by Philip Koku Sego. They are led, he is the NCC director of the area. They are from Mfansimai, the number 129. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome all of them to Parliament of Ghana and wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you. Honourable members, the next item after business statement is item 7, statements. And I want some guidance from the leadership. We have 7 statements. So, regarding the number of members to comment on each statement. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. As you rightly said, we have a few statements here, 7 here, but I engage, yes, 7. I engage my friends on the other side, and we have agreed that we want to look at 3 on our side, since they have only 1 on their side, so that we will do 4 statements, and then 4. Yeah, so we will do 3 statements on our side, and then the one that is on the other side will also be taken. So that will be 4 statements for today. But you want to say something? I will yield to.
Yes.
Speaker, we are trying to find a roadmap. 7 statements, difficult to execute all. So I related to my side. There are a number of statements that have been submitted. I think pending a confirmation from your outfit. I just transmitted one to your outfit, just transmitted. So I humbly want to suggest that we can add one on our side to the existing one so that it becomes 2. We take 3 on your side, we take 2 on our side, it becomes 5. And then we can call it a day.
Mr. Speaker, I think that is in your hands. The ones that you want, since it's not been advertised, you are making a prayer for Mr. Speaker to decide on that one.
Honourable members, the difficulty is to ignore an advertised statement and take a statement that is not advertised. That's the difficulty.
Speaker, we are in your hands.
Yes.
Speaker, we are in your hands. However,
so,
because
I don't know which one particular is coming from your side.
I'm sorry, Speaker, if you may endure, we have E. E that stands in the name of the Honorable Koko Laureate Asante. And I've transmitted another one that stands in the name of the Honorable Vincent Asefua. So that becomes 2 on our side.
When was it transmitted?
Because
I haven't seen it.
So it was displayed on the console.
Is he admitted?
So we are in your hands. That's why we are making pleadings to you that we get that one to be added to the one advertised, so that it becomes 2 on our side. So 2, no more. Then.
Are you sure the second statement you are talking about is on the console?
Well, that was the information I got, that it was on the console. So whatever it is, we are pleading with you that we should have that one added to make it 2.
Yes, I'm telling you a clear difficulty. I want to be fair to all manner of people. Assuming you have a statement advertised, yours rather advertised will not be taken, but the one that is not advertised should be taken.
Speaker, you just saw. Speaker, leadership, we have a role to.
For instance,
to guide.
yes, I know the leadership has a role to play, but this issue of the statement is not coming from this side, it is coming from this side. I have presided over the House and I have taken more statements from my left side than the right side. So for me, if you are agreeing that, let's take the first 2, let's take the first 2, 3, 4, or let's take this number of the statement out of the ones admitted and advertised, then I would agree with you. Other than that, it defeats the purpose of having the statements advertised. Well, leadership, you can engage, and then I'll give the floor to Mr. Isaac Ewuku Ayibo, Member of Parliament from Domiabra Obum, to make the statement numbered item number 7A. So leadership, you can engage. How many comments are we even taking? That's what you should be advising me on. That's it. Okay. Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I rise to make a statement on urgent need for insurance and safety regulations for workers on high-rise construction projects and billboard installation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to address this August House on a matter of grave national concern that directly affects the safety, well-being, and the economic security of countless hardworking Ghanaians across our urban centers. Mr. Speaker, this concern is the growing risk associated with the construction of high-rise buildings and mounting of billboards and signage on towering structures across the country. As Ghana continues its urban transformation, our cities are expanding vertically. The skyline is increasingly dotted with multi-story buildings buildings, and massive advertising billboards. While these developments contribute to urban modality and economic activity, they also expose a category of informal and often unprotected workers to life-threatening hazards. Mr. Speaker, our artisans, including billboard installers, painters, electricians, masons, and carpenters, routinely operate at significant height, many times without adequate safety gear or insurance protection. These informal segments of the construction and advertising industry is growing rapidly, yet remain under-regulated and under-protected. Mr. Speaker, data from the Ghana Statistics Service and Labor Advocacy Group indicates that accidents involving construction and signage workers on high-rise projects are steadily increasing. A 2023 report by Ghana Institution of Safety Engineers revealed that construction-related fatalities ranked among the top 5 occupational deaths in the country, with significant proportion involving falls from height. Yet, most of these workers are not enrolled in any form of insurance or social protection scheme. Recent incidents in cities like Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, and Tamale have heightened the tragic consequences of the regulatory gap. Injuries, permanent disabilities, and in some cases, death, all without compensation or support for affected families. Mr. Speaker, this issue transcends labor rights. It is a public safety and urban governance challenge. Many metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, despite ensuring permits for outdoor advertisement, lack the capacity to enforce basic occupational safety standards. Mr. Speaker, to address this dire situation, I humbly propose the following policy interventions for urgent consideration by government through the Ministry of Works and Housing in collaboration with the Ministries of Employment, Labor and Jobs, and local government, chieftaincy, and religious affairs. 1, develop and implement a comprehensive national policy for the regulating billboard installation and high-rise advertising with a strong focus on occupational safety. 2, institute a mandatory insurance scheme for workers engaged in a billboard installation and high-rise construction activity, providing coverage for injury, disability, or death. 3, mandate the use of certified protective gear and safety equipment, such as helmet, harness, and scaffold with clear enforcement mechanism. 4, empower and resource the MMDAs to monitor and enforce safety compliance on construction and advertising sites across their jurisdictions. 5, collaborate with the key stakeholders, including the Advertisers Association of Ghana, the Ghana Trade Union Congress, civil society organizations, and technical institutions to develop and disseminate safety standards, training models, and ethical operational guidelines. Mr. Speaker, this is not just about protecting livelihood, it is about protecting human lives. No Ghanaian should be forced to choose between earning a living and preserving their lives. As we continue to promote job creation and urban growth, we must ensure that dignity, safety, and justice remain at the core of the development agenda. I respectfully urge this House and relevant state agencies to act swiftly and decisively. Let us not wait for the next preventable tragedy to occur before we respond. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to thank the good people of Domia Brabum Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable members, statement is heavily made. It is now time for contribution. Yes, Honorable Suwera.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, let me commend my colleague here, Honorable Isaac Auku, the MP for Domiabra Obum, for this very timely statement. Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of things that we take for granted in this country. And I think one of those is the obvious oversight that we sometimes are unable to provide over some industries and business activities in this country. Mr. Speaker, there's no doubt about the increasing number of high-rising buildings, high-rising billboards that have taken over the skylines of this country. And as the maker of the statement rightly indicated, we have not so far been able to put in place the requisite requirements to ensure that the young people, and mostly is the young people who are involved in this high-rise activities, construction, are adequately protected, first, to guard their safety, and second, to be compensated in the event that there is any accident. Mr. Speaker, you need to drive along the motorway through to the N1, and you see all these high-rising billboards. These days, they are even rolling videos. You know, it's no more like pictures, but videos are running about funerals, weddings, church conventions, Muslim conventions, and so there is a lot happening there. So I want to urge and to add my voice to the maker of this statement that it's about time that the Ministry of Housing, the Ministry of Local Government, because the permits to mount the billboards come from the local assemblies, we need to begin to engage them to ensure that they require businesses who come to them for permit to provide certain documentations, especially in the area of safety and insurance. Insurance is a risk for everybody. Most businesses think that paying insurance is throwing good money away. No. That is why it is called insurance. The artisan who is working for you needs a fallback position in the event that there is any tragedy. That money cannot buy. So when we reduce everything to money, businesses are not willing to insure their staff, their employees, insure their businesses. Then people go and they are maimed. And Mr. Speaker, you know what happens? All these people who work in this industry are from our constituencies. And you and I know, when they have no fallback position, they come to the MP. The member of parliament becomes the insurance. Mr. Speaker, we have a duty to ensure that the right thing is done so that people can be protected as they go about working to earn their daily bread. Thank you very much. And thank you once again, Honorable Auku.
Thank you. On this note, I will move to minority leadership. If there is comment, if there is no comment, yes, majority leadership, will you yield? Will you yield to your back? Yes, Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement. And I want to commend the maker of the statement. Right Honourable Speaker, government has realized how the advertising space is insanitized. And so a committee has been formed under the Ministry of Local Government, that's a technical working committee, to ensure that we work with the assemblies to get the space sanitized. That is, indiscriminate mounting of billboards that are mounted above the height that they are supposed to go. And so I'm just from a meeting with some members of the technical working committee, and we'll move out very soon before Christmas, and to ensure that where billboards are mounted and they are not supposed to be there, we are going to pull them down, working together with the assemblies, that's the MMDAs. And sometimes some of these billboards, you realize that people just go and mount them during the night, and assemblies are not aware, but that should not be an excuse. And so we are all going to work together in this space, because His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, himself is not happy with what is going on. A place like airports, you get to the airport runabout, you see indiscriminate mounting of billboards. Like my sister, Honorable Zwera, said, some of them are showing videos, and as you drive along the road, the videos fall into your eyes, and sometimes it makes driving very difficult. In as much as we need the revenue at our various MMDAs, that does not mean that we should not adhere to the signage regulations. And so I want to assure the maker of the statement and the House that the Ministry of Local Government, under the leadership of Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, we are working closely to ensure that we sanitize the space. When we talk about high-rising building, every area is zoned as to the height of building that has to be there. But it seems we are not working with that. And LUSPA, that's the Land Use and Spatial Planning, together with the physical planning departments of the various MMDAs, are working together to ensure that we'll have sanity in the industry. Because most of the time, people start their buildings, they are given permits, but they will not adhere to the permits that they have been given. And I also want to urge the MMDAs to ensure that they are the authority in their space, that is your municipality or your district. And so if you have somebody has applied for permits and you have given the person permits to say go 3 levels and the person is going 5, you have to go around to ensure that that is not done. And so I would also want to urge all the MMDAs, you have the authority, you have the bylaws, and so let's work together to ensure that we sanitize the development space and then the signage space. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we move to statement numbered B, standing in the name of Kofi Ako Nokwe.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to read this statement on the legacy of Anton William Amo, Axim's gift to the world. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise today with a deep sense of pride and reverence to draw the attention of this august House to one of Africa's, and indeed Ghana's, most remarkable but often forgotten son, Anton William Amo, also known as Anton Amo. Right Honourable Speaker, he was born around 1703 in Axim, in what was called the Gold Coast. Anton Amo's life defies the limitation history often places on Africans, because it was in the era of slavery and colonial domination. Taken as a young child to Europe, reportedly as a gift from the Dutch West Indian Company to a German duke, Amo overcame the traumatic foundations of his displacement to rise as the first African to attend, Right Honorable Speaker, and teach in a European university. Mr. Speaker, his journey from the coast town of Axim to the lecture halls of the University of Halle, Wittenberg, and Jena in Germany is nothing short of extraordinary. He earned a doctorate in philosophy, became a lecturer and published academic and debated the greatest minds of enlightenment. His contributions to literacy, Mr. Speaker, philosophy, and historical discourse challenged racial stereotypes at a time when Africans were viewed as inferior beings. Amo, Mr. Speaker, wrote extensively on rational thought, legal rights, and dignity of human beings. That's ideas that resonates with today's principle of justice and equality. Mr. Speaker, what makes his legacy even more profound is the contradiction it presents. Anton Amo was an African slave from Axim, Mr. Speaker, who rose to intellectual eminence in the 18th century Europe, a feat that remains inspirational centuries later. His achievements remind us of, Mr. Speaker, resilience, intellect, potential. It reminds us of resilience, intellect, and potential of the African spirit, even in the face of unspeakable adversities. Mr. Speaker, the story of Anton Amo, the young man from Axim, my hometown, is not only mere of historical importance, it is a story of motivation and purpose for the Ghanaian youth. From his life, Mr. Speaker, we learn that where you begin, Mr. Speaker, does not determine where you go, where you can go. We learn the importance of, Mr. Speaker, education, perseverance, identity, and the pursuit of excellence. In him, Mr. Speaker, we see that even in chains, Mr. Speaker, the African mind can rise, can soar. Mr. Speaker, I call on this house, this august house, Mr. Speaker, and the government of Ghana to take deliberate steps, Mr. Speaker, to honor the legacy of this great son of our land. Among the ways we can do that, Mr. Speaker, are one, instituting an annual Anton Amo lecture series on African philosophy, history, and education. Erecting, Mr. Speaker, a monument or renaming an academic institution in his honor, especially in Nzima, in the Nzima area or nationwide, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 3, integrating his life and works into the educational system, into the educational curriculum to inspire, Mr. Speaker, generations to come. The fourth one, Mr. Speaker, is partnering with Germany, with the German institutions, Mr. Speaker, especially where he taught and where he lived, to preserve and promote his writings and philosophy through joint academic research. Mr. Speaker, the last one, establishing a scholarship or academic chair in his name, which is focused on philosophy, African studies, and post-colonial history. Mr. Speaker, Anton Amo is not just a historical figure. He is a symbol of African brilliance, endurance, and contribution to global knowledge. Let us lift his name from the footnotes of European academic journals into the consciousness of every Ghanaian child. For in honoring Amo, we honor our own shared heritage. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity.
Honourable members' statement ably made. I give the floor to Honourable Former Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, Anthony Amo, as he was affectionately called, is expected to be one of the first professors of Ghanaian origin. As a regional minister, when I was writing the Discover Western Region, I did some little research on him. And it is known that he had died at the fort in Shama. Mr. Speaker, as at 2020, 2024, and 2025, a lot of places, streets, squares in Germany had been named after him for the work he had done on the mind and even disputing major theses of Locke and others. Mr. Speaker, such a brilliant mind coming from Ghana clearly shows that no matter where you are born, you can shine. And I believe that if you take the age that he got his PhD, around 27 years, and professorship around 32 years, you will come to realize that Anthony William Amo had done so well to project Ghana and the black race. In fact, in his time, there was a lot of controversies around him in Germany. And when he also came to Ghana, the white man, the West Indies company that had brought him to Ghana, were also afraid that because of the enlightenment he had gotten from Germany, it might spark some kind of revolution among the Africans against the white. And that's for one of the most important reasons why they kept him in the Fort Sebastian in Shama. So, Mr. Speaker, I do believe that all young people should appreciate that no matter where they are, no matter the color of their skin, they can shine and be of benefit to society and the world at large. And naturally, you don't need to come from Accra to be important. If you are in your corner in Kita, in your corner in Savlugu, you are in your corner in Axim, you can still shine and make a contribution for the progress of Ghana and the world. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to add to the statement of my honorable member from Evaluate Ajumoro Jura. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much. I will give the floor to the honorable member, and I'll come here.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And I also want to thank my honorable colleague for the statement. I think, Mr. Speaker, Anton Wilhelm Amo is one of the most celebrated scholars across the world. His research, his academic publications, his teachings has been exemplary and actually portraying not just the Ghanaian and the African as the best of scholars in the world, but has actually opened up opportunity for people from the developing world to be able to compete with those in the developed world. Mr. Speaker, his legacy has been dotted across the world. In a lot of universities, academic institutions and departments have been named after him. There have been series of lectures to honor his memory and his legacy and contribution to academic work. His work was not only on philosophy, but it also opened up the door for resilience and equality and to upgrade the minds of the black man who at that particular point in time was thought to be inferior to compete and challenge the dominant minds of the European world in the period of enlightenment. Mr. Speaker, I think his work has been celebrated across the world, but specifically I know in the University of Ghana, as far back as 2021, there was the Median inaugural lecture and symposium organized by the Marian Institute for Advanced Studies in Africa, the Department of Philosophy, and then the African Institute, Kwame Nkrumah Institute of African Studies, to honor his memory. And I think this was chaired by the German ambassador to Ghana. So I truly support the work that he has done and agree with the honorable member that we should do more to celebrate people like that who have inspired all of us who have studied in Europe to be closely associated to his legacy and memory, and gives us a lot of opportunity to also do a lot to open more doors for our young ones who are coming up and to be able to contest Mr. Speaker, in terms of academic might with the developed world in spite of the advancement in technology and the academic resources that they have. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, leadership. I'm in your hands. If you look at your back, there are 2 standing, but it's now your turn. So whoever you yield to, or it's whether either you want to yield or you want to do it yourself.
No, I'll yield to my colleague. He's from the Western region.
Yes, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And rightly so, coming from the Western region, I want to commend the author of this statement, the Member of Parliament for Evalo Ejura, for bringing to our attention as a House one of the most brilliant minds Ghana could ever produce in the 17th century. Mr. Speaker, William Anton Amo was born, as he said, in 1703. And by the age of 4 years, he had been taken to outside for adoption. Mr. Speaker, over his days and years, he grew up to become one of the most powerful, challenging minds that the world, particularly in Germany, where he brought his scholarliness into public display. Mr. Speaker, one of the most intriguing statements that he reflected upon, for which purpose I would like to read to challenge this House. And I quote from his book, Of the Human Mind. He stated that whatever feels lives. Whatever lives depends on nourishment. Whatever lives and depends on nourishment grows. Whatever is of this nature is in the end resolved into 8 basic principles. Whatever comes to be resolved into 8 basic principles is a complex. Every complex has 8 constituent parts. Whatever this is true is a divisible body. If therefore the human mind feels, it follows that it is a divisible body. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure many people would even be confused in understanding what William Anton Amo sought to speak on in this particular quotation. But importantly, as a country, we've not been able to honor such great people for their works and contribution to this country. And that is why, if you listen to my colleague from Member of Parliament for Takoradi and the other speaker, they talked about Mr. Amu being honored in outside jurisdictions, but not being honored enough as a country. So, if the request from the honorable member for Ghana to celebrate him and to honor him, I think it's a right call. And that call is also to challenge Ghanaian academia, because we have all this history behind us, strong people who have contributed to global minds. But as a country today, with all the education, with all the development that have gone on, how have we been able to transform our contemporary times, even to bring the needed development that we want to see? And so we begin by celebrating William Anton Amo for his contribution to this world, and also to remind ourselves as a people that we also have to do well to contribute to the development of this country. We sit here as members of Parliament. We sit here as members of parliament, and we owe it as a duty that as we find ourselves here in our own small way, we also contribute to the development of this country. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to commend the Speaker for bringing this to attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We now move to statement numbered E, standing in the name of Honorable Koko Lorette Asante, Etiwa West. You have the floor.
Thank
we have
you,
some
Mr.
agreement,
Speaker.
so go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today on order number 93 of our standing orders with a deep sense of urgency to address an alarming phenomenon. Many young Ghanaian women are losing their lives during or shortly after childbirth. According to the Ghana Statistical Service's 2024 thematic brief on maternal mortality, the second and most recent maternal health survey conducted in 2017 estimates, Mr. Speaker, that Ghana's maternal mortality ratio is estimated at 310 deaths per 100,000 live births for the 7 years preceding the survey. This figure is corroborated by the World Health Organization in its 2025 trends in maternal mortality estimates 2000 to 2023 report. Ghana's rate remains significantly higher than the UN Sustainable Development Goal target of 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030. So Ghana is 310 deaths per 100,000 live births, and the UN SDG goal is 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030. A recent 3-year study from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital from January 2021 to December 2023, which was published in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, the global reports in March 2025 of this year, reveals a shocking maternal mortality ratio of 801 per 100,000 live births over a 3-year period at the Kolebu facility. 801, Mr. Speaker. That's unacceptable. Hypertensive disorders accounted for 40.7%, while hemorrhage caused 28.4% of audited maternal deaths. So the non-audited, Lord knows. Among girls, this was among girls aged 15 to 19, the maternal mortalities due to hypertensive complications were as high as 529 per 100,000 in the same research report. These are not just statistics, Mr. Speaker. They are lives lost to systematic failures in maternal health care. Mr. Speaker, the leading causes of these maternal deaths are postpartum hemorrhage, eclampsia, sepsis, obstructed labor, and complications from cesarean sections. These causes are well known and treatable. Let me repeat, these causes are well known and treatable, yet 81% of pregnancy-related deaths occur at home or within 24 hours of admission per the 3-year research study. This reflects the enduring impact of the 3 delays in basically, one is deciding to seek care and in reaching a medical facility, delays in receiving timely treatment, and delays in treatment upon arrival. These dangers are magnified by long travel distances, broken referral systems, and overstretched facilities. Mr. Speaker, an article published by the Lancet Global Health on March 7, 2025, and reported by the World Health Organization identifies hemorrhage, which is severe bleeding, and hypertensive disorders such as preeclampsia as the leading causes of maternal deaths globally. According to the report, these conditions accounted for approximately 50,000 to 80,000 maternal fatalities, respectively, in the year 2020. This alarming data stems from a multi-systematic review conducted to examine the root causes of maternal deaths occurring between 2009 and 2020. Mr. Speaker, these findings underscore the urgent need to strengthen maternal health systems, particularly emergency obstetric care to prevent avoidable deaths and safeguard the lives of mothers in Ghana and the world. Substandard care, Mr. Speaker, further compounds the risk of maternal mortality. Failures such as misdiagnosis, delayed emergency interventions, and poor resuscitation practices. Mr. Speaker, globally, countries with robust maternal health systems report far fewer maternal deaths. Germany, for example, had a maternal mortality ratio of just 4 per 100,000 live births in 2023, according to the World Bank's Gender Data Portal. And Ghana, per the Kolibu report that I just cited, was 801 per 100,000 live births. Germany was 4. Malaysia and Sri Lanka have achieved dramatic declines in maternal mortality by expanding community-based midwifery programs and investing in emergency transport and referral networks, as described in the World Bank's Investing in Maternal Health report and the Sub-Saharan African Transport Policy Program analysis published in April 2025. Mr. Speaker, our healthcare professionals continue to work heroically under immense pressure, but their efforts are undermined by poor infrastructure, lack of essential medicines, and a fragile referral system. Mr. Speaker, no woman should lose her life while giving life. No woman should lose her life while giving life. Every maternal death is not just a tragedy, it is a failure of our health system, our governance, and our collective responsibility. Mr. Speaker, this is not a woman's issue alone. It is a national development crisis. Beyond the human cost, the economic and social impact is severe. The loss of mothers leads to broken families, reduced workforce participation, and long-term poverty, especially in rural areas. Mr. Speaker, we must act decisively to reduce maternal mortality in Ghana. As such, we must adopt a comprehensive and coordinated approach that addresses both the systemic gaps and the human realities of maternal care. To that end, Mr. Speaker, we should scale up midwifery training and deployment to meet WHO's ratio of 1 to 175 provider to population ratio. We must also equip district hospitals with essential medical equipment, blood banks, ICU facilities, and essential medicines. We need to strengthen the referral system specifically for obstetric emergencies. It is essential that we institute mandatory in-hospital or clinic maternal death audits and enforce clinical protocols for emergency obstetric care. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, this House must act with urgency and resolve. Let this Honorable House commit, not in words alone, but through concrete action to addressing the high incidence of maternal mortality in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, there must be an inquiry as to the causes of the high rate of maternal death during childbirth or immediately after childbirth in Ghana. Is it due to complications during natural or cesarean sections? Or is it due to lack of antenatal care? Is it due to medical negligence? We must investigate the causes so that they can be addressed and prevent further deaths of mothers-to-be. Mr. Speaker, let us ensure that no woman, no female in Ghana dies giving life, which death could have been prevented. Let us build a nation where motherhood is celebrated, not mourned, where giving birth in Ghana is safe and not to be feared. Mr. Speaker, I was speaking to some young women in my constituency, and what they said was very depressing and sad. They said they're pregnant, they're like in their 9th month, 8th month, and their fear was giving birth, Mr. Speaker. We're in 2025, and the fear of these women is giving birth. How could that be? We must address this so that we prevent these preventable deaths, because they are preventable. The data shows that a large number of these maternal deaths are preventable. Sure, some will, you may have some that may not be preventable. But if you look at the data, it says that a large number of the maternal deaths are preventable because the causes are known and there's treatment available. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honourable member, statement ably made. It's now time for comment. Yes, Honourable Dr. Grace.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this comment by the Honourable Member of Atiwa West. Mr. Speaker, first I would like to commend her for bringing this issue to the floor today. Ghana's maternal mortality rate, Mr. Speaker, is a pressing concern. As she has already alluded to, the current mortality rate is 310 deaths per 100,000 live births. The WHO standard is 70 deaths per 100,000 live births, so we are way above that. But to make this number even more frightening is the half-year report. In 2023, half-year, we have 430 deaths. So we had 430 women walk into hospitals or clinics pregnant, and 430 of them walked in, and 430 of them died. In 2024, we had 437 half-year report. The whole year in 2024 was 819 women walked in healthy and ended up dead. In 2025, between January and June 2025, we are already up to 504. Mr. Speaker, the leading cause of these unfortunate deaths are hypertensive complications, gestational diabetes, and more importantly, postpartum hemorrhage. Basically, what happens is after they give birth, the uterus doesn't contract, and then they bleed to death. And these deaths are usually around the perioperative period or the postpartum period, the first few days of delivery. So the region in Ghana with the highest is actually Ashanti region. It has recorded the highest maternal mortality rate. What are some of the solutions, Mr. Speaker? Obviously, we have to talk about solutions. In terms of postpartum hemorrhage, there's a medication that is called capitocin. This capitocin, basically, when the woman takes it, after the delivery, it contracts the uterus and then it stops the uterus from bleeding. Currently, the capitocin we have in the country is a non-heat stable version, and that version requires the cold chain. So it makes the medicine very expensive. It's about 500 cedis per dose. But there's another version, which is a heat-stable version, that does not require the cold chain, and that will be about 9 cedis per pill. So we are currently working on making the 9 cedi, the heat-stable capitocin, available to women in Ghana because the #1 cause of maternal mortality is postpartum hemorrhage. So once this medicine is here, the hemorrhage or the people that are dying from postpartum hemorrhage will be decreased. The next issue, Mr. Speaker, is that most of them are having these complications from hypertensive, either pre-eclampsia or post-eclampsia or hypertensive around the pregnancy. That is what is leading to a lot of these complications. With the Mahama Cares, as well as the free primary health care, Mr. Speaker, what the government is trying to do is basically to identify the high-risk women in the community before they even come to the CHIPS compound to have the delivery. So if the community health nurse is able to identify a pregnant woman in the community that this is a potential high risk because they have high blood pressure or they have diabetes, what we do is that we can escalate their delivery to the next level, which is basically a district hospital. So they don't end up in a CHIPS compound having a baby and being complicated. The next issue is about training, Mr. Speaker. We are currently transitioning the nursing training programs from a diploma program to a degree program. And so hopefully within this training, or as part of the training, we're going to end up with highly skilled specialized nurses who will be in the communities trying to avoid this high level of postpartum maternal mortality. Mr. Speaker, the next issue is about hypertensive again. With the free primary health care, we will identify the patients that are hypertensive within the community. Hypertension medicine, Mr. Speaker, is affordable, so that if we can treat the hypertension in the communities or at the lowest level of our health system, which is the CHIPS compound or the health centers, then we can avoid those who will end up being pregnant and those who will end up with pregnancy and complication and ending up in the hospital with high mortality rates. Mr. Speaker, when you look at Ashanti region, as I said, is the #1 area or region with the highest morbidity and mortality. We are putting together documentation for mentorship and for the specialist doctors and nurses so that the numbers in Ashanti region will be decreased. Once this document is done, and we have done the mentorship in Ashanti region, we'll quickly scale it up to the rest of the country. The next region is Central region. So if Ashanti region and Central region, the numbers are down, this will really help us. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, we are putting together an RMNCH strategic plan for 2026 and 2030.
Honorable member,
Thank you.
your time is up.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would want to associate myself and then say a very big thank you to the Member of Parliament for bringing this very critical issue up. I mean, if you look at the issue of maternal mortality and maternal deaths, it's just an indication of the poor nature of our health system. If you take the US, for example, we are having a maternal mortality ratio of just about 18 per 100,000 live births. If you take Ghana, we are having about 300. Mr. Speaker, 300 per 100,000 live birth means that if you have a 60-seater U-turn bus and all of them crash at the same time, you are going to have everybody in that bus dead. That is what it means, that per every 100,000 live births, 300 of our women would die in their bid to give birth to children. Now, what are the key issues? If you look at maternal mortality and you don't divide it into three critical issues, you will not appreciate the issue. One, it is a decision. What is the decision? The first thing is decision to seek health care, and that is patient-centered. The patient first has to take a decision that, look, I am not well, and I need to get to the hospital. But let's also remember that decision also depends on who the person is living with. It depends on religious beliefs, it depends on traditional beliefs, etc. Then after this decision of seeking healthcare is taken, the next decision is, I would have to get to the hospital. Where is the nearest hospital? What is the road network looking like? If you come to my constituency, for example, in Nanton, it's going to take a pregnant woman sometimes about 2-3 hours. She knows she has to get to the hospital, but she needs an extra 3 hours to get to the nearest district hospital, which is not going to be in Nanton, but it's going to be in Savulugu. So first, she had a problem of decision-making. Now she has decided that she will seek health care. The road network, etc., is a problem. But what do we have control over? That is the third category, is at the level of the institution, at the level of our hospitals. What is our emergency preparedness for women that are pregnant? Professor just mentioned a very essential drug that we need, oxytocin. How available is it? Oxytocin actually should be kept at a temperature of between -2 to -8 degrees. Do we have refrigerators in our hospitals to even ensure that the efficacy of the oxytocin that we are giving to these pregnant women are working? Because sometimes, Mr. Speaker, we have the medicine, but we are not storing them at the right temperatures. So you may be giving oxytocin, but the uterus is not going to contract. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the issue of HR. What is our distribution of healthcare workers in this country? Most of our healthcare workers, our specialists, are concentrated in either Accra, in Kumasi, or in Cape Coast. What happens to that pregnant patient that is found herself in Savannah region? That needs a specialist obstetrician gynecologist to look at the complications that Prof was talking about. That's why I am very happy that the Ministry of Health, together with the minister, they have agreed that, look, let's look at our HR system. Must we keep all our doctors? Must we keep all our specialists in Kolebu? Must we keep all our specialists in Konfuanoche? We would need to decentralize this. Yes, there has been tax shifting where some level of what we call them community health nurses have been trained to do some level of midwifery care. But is that what we want as a country? Those of us in this room, we are all part of the problem, Mr. Speaker. I am part of the problem. We are all part of the problem. For example, if I have a doctor posted to the northern region and he's my constituent, and he comes to me and says that, oh, Honorable, I have been sent to the northern region. I don't want to go there. My next thing is that I'm going to look for a way to get this doctor not to go to the northern region. But what I have done by not making him go to the northern region is that I am contributing to that maternal mortality ratio you and I are talking about. It's time as a country for us to decide which road we want to go. There has been a lot of investment in health. At least the uncapping of the national health insurance has made health and money accessible and readily available to health facilities to acquire essential medicine, to acquire essential equipment. The upcoming of the primary health system will also bring health to the doorstep of the people. The CHIPS compound we are running, Mr. Speaker, that was supposed to be the very first point for our health system. But is our CHIPS concept working really well?
Conclude.
With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank
you very much. Yes. Leadership. Majority leadership. Yes. Honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to comment on this important statement by my colleague on the other side. Mr. Speaker, this issue is a very critical issue, and I will personally be an advocate of this because I have experienced this in the terms of if it wasn't by God's grace, I won't be alive by now. Mr. Speaker, before I go directly to my personal experience, when I'm talking about this and making reference as a member of parliament for Sunyani West, I will talk about the roads, the bad roads in some of our rural areas that do not facilitate and get our constituents to the hospital on time, which we need to take much concern about. Mr. Speaker, during my daughter's birth and during delivery, I got to a point that I had enough energy and strength to see whatever the midwife was doing in that process. But I realized that she just made a comment, Jesus. And I was asking myself what exactly is happening, and the little girl, kept crying. So after I went home, I had lost my mom barely 12 years ago. So there was one of my mothers who came to take care and to help me bath my little girl. Mr. Speaker, our old mothers, they would want to check all the parts of the kid to see if the child is in a good shape, like the hand, the legs, and see if the child really responds. So she just told me that it looks like one of your child's body is not working. Mr. Speaker, I got scared. Then I said, no, let's go back to the hospital, because I remember when I was taking her out of the hospital, the doctors had grouped. And was like, she grabs with a pen, that she grabs. So I kept asking myself, what is happening? Mr. Speaker, when I got to the hospital, the midwife had gone on shift, and there was a new midwife on duty. Then she said she doesn't really get to understand what is happening. And I said, okay, can we take the folder and find out what transpired during delivery? We took the folder, nothing had happened, as in there was no records. Then I said, then let's call the general doctor, because I saw him here while they were having the discussion. When he came, he said, it's a normal thing that happened, and when the child was coming, it got to her neck, the shoulder. When they were pulling the shoulder, it was overstretched of the shoulder. So she has some pain in the shoulder and cannot really move the hand well. So they are going to tie the hand for a week. Then later, we'll take the child to the physiotherapy. I'm saying this as a concerned mother because when I go to the physiotherapy, Mr. Speaker, huge number of kids undergoing exercise. And I engaged some of the mothers and they said, because of these things that happened, some people feel that their children are disabled and all that, so even their husbands are not appreciating and welcoming the child. Mr. Speaker, you can imagine the trauma. So you see some kids on the street, some kids outside there, forming part of the disabled community. Meanwhile, it's sometimes the negligence of some medical practitioners. And these are matters we need to take much key and careful about it. And when things like this happen, it's between death and life. When we investigate and notice and realize that these are negligence of medical practitioners, what do we do about it? Not everyone has enough money to take up a legal stance. And even at the physiotherapy, much of some of the nurses there weren't even concentrating whilst exercising. So I had to speak to the director and had to come to the house and was rather exercising. By God's grace, she fully recovered. But I'm imagining other kids there who weren't able to get the attention, opportunity, the care, because the mother would have to take a car to the Confanochi physiotherapy. And I'm not surprised when the Deputy Minister of Health made reference that the huge, rate is in Ashanti region. So, Mr. Speaker, by concluding, I think this is a very important discussion and statement made by my colleague, and we really need to pay much key attention in solving it. Thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Yes, we move to another statement. Honorable member, we set the ground rules, and I'm going strictly according to the ground rules. So, statement numbered C, Mr. Seidu Alasan Alajo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to make this statement on the production of sesame and its economic benefit to rural farmers in Chereponi, Northeast region. Mr. Speaker, sesame is a flowering plant cultivated for its edible seeds, which are rich in oil. It is a resilient crop well suited for dry conditions and plays a significant role in many parts of Africa, particularly in the Sahel regions. Research indicates that Sudan is currently the largest producer globally, followed by countries such as Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, Tanzania, and Ghana. In Ghana, sesame is mainly grown in Tripoli and its neighboring district in the northern region by smallholder farmers, with about 88% of sesame farmers being smallholder owned, typically ranging from 0.3 to 5 hectares. The average yield of sesame in Ghana is approximately 3 bags or 100 kilograms per hectare, based on recent data from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The cost of production for growing sesame on an acre is reported to be 1,420 Ghana cedis. But that yield can vary based on farming practice and environmental factors. Mr. Speaker, a 2010 study revealed that an average yield of sesame in Ghana was 688 kilograms per hectare. Mr. Speaker, sesame production is a vital source of income for many farmers, especially in the rural areas of northern Ghana. The sesame subsector provides over 10,000 permanent and seasonal jobs, particularly for farmers, laborers, and intermediaries. Additionally, the off-farm activities associated with the marketing, distribution, and processing create more than 15,000 jobs annually. Sesame farming is particularly prominent in the northern Ghana, with over 24,000 farmers in the northeast region engaged in sesame production. In Tripoli alone, over 1,400 farmers produce more than 1,900 metric tons of sesame annually. Mr. Speaker, beyond the employment, sesame exports have become a key contributor to Ghana's foreign exchange earnings. In 2021-2023, sesame seed export from Ghana yielded around $120 million annually, with a peak of over 687 million. This has positioned Ghana as one of Africa's leading sesame exporters, and projections suggest that Ghana's sesame farming will grow by 4.27% annually between 2022 and 2026, reaching nearly $7 billion by 2027. Mr. Speaker, I must also highlight that sesame farming is contributing to poverty reduction by providing income-generating opportunities for smallholder farmers and their families. Moreover, it is used in various food products like pastry, bread, and snacks. The growing demand for sesame-blended food among health-conscious consumers is driving the demand and production of the seed. However, price fluctuation associated with the commodity is holding back the growth of sesame seed. Consumption for the seed in Ghana is low due to the lack of public awareness about its usefulness and health benefits. In addition, the perception of the seed as a cash crop cultivated for export rather than a food source also contributes to the low domestic patronage. In a news article by Ghana News Agency 2023, it was reported that most farmers in the Sisala enclave in the Upper West region, which produce about 100,000 tons of maize yearly, are shifting to sesame farming due to rising costs in maize production. Mr. Speaker, the benefits of sesame farming are numerous. It has diversified Ghana's agricultural system, reducing the country's reliance on traditional crops like maize, millet, and groundnuts. This diversification provides farmers with an alternative income source and strengthens resilience against market volatility. In fact, many smallholder farmers in Tripoli refer to sesame as their cocoa farm. The high demand for sesame has also created employment opportunities at various stages of production, from farming to processing. Both skilled and unskilled laborers are engaged in the value chain, contributing to rural development. For example, a sesame farmer in Chereponi can support their family, pay school fees, and meet other basic needs. This makes the sesame as a driver of rural development. Mr. Speaker, despite this benefit, the sesame industry faces several challenges, especially in Chereponi. One of the main issues is low productivity, as sesame yields in Ghana are relatively low compared to other producers. This is due to outdated farming practices, limited access to improved varieties, and inadequate quality standards along the value chain, which impact the competitiveness of Ghana's sesame on international market. Additionally, sesame farmers face difficulties such as poor road network, which force them to transport their product to Togo's market. The absence of fixed market price and then influence of middlemen also affect producer price. Other challenges include lack of proper storage facilities, limited monitoring by agricultural extension officers, and inadequate pest control methods, which leads to reduced yields and poor quality harvest. Moreover, poor post-harvest practices such as inadequate drying and proper storage result in significant losses and reduce profitability for farmers. Mr. Speaker, to address these challenges, Mr. Speaker, I recommend that the government, through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, should invest in research to develop high-yield pest-resistant sesame varieties and improve farming techniques. The ministry and its relevant agencies should also provide market support, thus and improve access to reliable market information and establish partnership between farmers and exporters to ensure better price and market access for farmers. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture should, as part of effort to ensure good yield, provide training program on quality control, post-harvest management, and pest control to improve production standards and reduce losses. Mr. Speaker, the government should as well invest in improving road network in the Chereponi area, especially in farming communities within Chereponi, and establish irrigation system to support sesame farming, which will ensure productivity and transportation. I must emphasize that all roads in Chereponi district are in completely deplorable state, and I encourage the government to support in the construction of roads to support farmers in the sesame industry. Again, Mr. Speaker, the government should through its sector minister, should assist sesame farmers to assess financial support for farmers to enable them to invest in a better farming method, storage facilities, and equipment. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sesame production presents a significant opportunity for economic growth and poverty alleviation in Chereponi and Northern Ghana enclave. By addressing these challenges and investing in the sector, we can create sustainable livelihood for farmers and position Ghana as global leader in sesame production. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, statement ably made. Any comment? Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I start by thanking my colleague, Honorable Alajo, for making this wonderful statement. Mr. Speaker, the issue of sesame has become a new normal, mostly serving as an intervening crop that supports farmers because of its short lifespan, right from the germination to the harvest. Farmers use this crop to raise money to be able to do their farming work. In the Sisala East, like he mentioned, Tumu and other surrounding communities, sesame has been able to keep the youth out of the forests and the water bodies. Today, many in the community, the young ones, venture into sesame production and they make good monies that support families and many other activities that they want to engage in. Last year, at the peak season, it will interest the House to know a bag of sesame weighing 100 kg went as high as what, 4,000 Ghana cedi. That's sesame. So in Tumu and its surrounding villages, many people will tell you that, and my colleague did indicate that, it is not just the cocoa, but it's also the gold in the form of white and black. I also do appreciate the point that government and through the Minister of Agric to really look at this particular sector of farming this crop such that we are able to highlight the importance of it to the many young people who are there idle and not having much to do. More so because of the fact that most of us are having border towns. For instance, I share a border with my constituency, a border with Burkina Faso. Having the youth sitting and not doing much without any support is not just an economic problem, but it becomes what? A national security concern. With this, I also want to urge the Ministry of Agriculture to support in any form that will make farming of sesame a point for the youth to go into. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, I'll come to minority leadership. Then I'll come to majority leadership. Yes.
Speaker, it will not be out of place if I start off by commending the Honorable Al-Hassan, the Member of Parliament for Chiriponi, bringing this matter onto the House floor for a discussion. I commend him because sesame is one of the most beneficial product that has often been underrated. And the maker of the statement mentioned in passing reasons probably why we are not, or we have not, as it were, paid attention to this product. The benefits are not far-fetched and is known. I'm surprised to hear that a bag of sesame is of that value. If it is the case, it could be the next gold in that part of the country. It could be the huge potential. I'm surprised that it hasn't received the necessary attention and the call that is due it. And I can only commend the Member of Parliament and also give him the assurance that I will be part of any effort in advocating for the anchoring of this product in the narrative of the Ministry of Agric and other ministries who matter as far as this product is concerned. And so, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a plethora of them. So for many of these essential products, and we are told there are countries in the world whose soil is not that fertile. Any part of our country, you can plant anything, invariably plant anything, and it would germinate, it would successfully blossom. So it feeds into one problem we have as a country, where we often tend to sleep on our oars, the things we have to do, the basic things we have to do to change our economic fortunes, we don't do them. And so we always talk about the traditional crops. Sesame could be classified as a non-traditional export crops, which could be exploited. Mango, in the part of eastern region. In fact, Ghana is the only country in the entire world Ghana, we are the only country in the entire world where we have 2 maximum seasons of mango growth. There is nowhere in the world. South Africa, they resort to irrigation. Well, I will not.
Honourable members, order.
I will not yield to that invitation. I'm looking at you, and my attention is focused on you.
Yes, don't be tempted.
Yes. So, sesame could be the next most important non-traditional export crop or product that we can exploit, and not just for the health benefit, but also for poverty reduction. I'm aware the constituents are already farming in it, but they are doing it at a scale that is minimal. Why? Because they don't have the necessary oxygen that will make them expand. They also don't have the know-how. If the Minister of Agriculture, I wish the Honorable Eric Poku, who I know is a very active person when it comes to such matters, if the Minister of Agriculture and even the presidency could give it a certain boost, I'm sure it will change the lives of the constituents, and the Honorable Member of Parliament will be a happy person. Because of the health benefit and the unique nature of the product, I would employ you that probably this statement is forwarded to our own Honorable Eric Opoku, so that it doesn't just become one of the statements that are made and then it gets onto the record. It will get onto the record, but it must attract or elicit the needful action from the duty bearers to change the narrative. Having said that, I'm sure the constituents, you have won your next election. I'm sure you have won your next election already, Honorable. Your constituents must be very happy and very proud of you for zeroing on this matter. And let's not let the narrative end here. Let's continue with it. The Honorable Eric Opoku is a very fine gentleman. I'm sure he'll be happy to work closely with you to change the narrative. Speaker, having said that, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, majority.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to thank all the honorable members who made statement today on both sides and the rich contributions that came out of it. Mr. Speaker, on the statement that Honorable Alassane Lawyer has just made about sesame, I want to add my voice to what the minority whip said, that we have a lot of plants in this country that we don't pay much attention to. But a lot of these are things that we can actually earn money from, from basically able to export this. And I think we will all have to add our voice. I mean, this is obviously grown in a certain region of Ghana, and small farmers actually depend on this for their livelihood. But it has a potential of becoming much bigger than it's situated in a small area and making small money or small benefit for the farmers over there. There are a lot of these plants or a lot of these that we produce that can actually, with the right investment and with the right support, we will be able to do it on a much larger scale that will be able to earn Ghana some kind of foreign revenue. Mr. Speaker, I think we all know of sesame oil. When you go to Europe, it has a huge importance. I mean, I know of this in Italy in particular, that a lot of things, cooking, so many things are done with this. And I think the largest on the continent, the largest country that does this is actually Sudan. And at the moment, with the situation going on in Sudan, it is very difficult to get this in the quantities that are required in many places, especially Europe. So it may grow in other parts. I don't know how much research has been done in which part of the country this will actually grow. At the moment, it's in the Chiriponi area, and the district around it. But this could also grow in other parts of the country where we are trying to encourage people to go into farming and make farming a profitable business or industry. These are some of the things that we need to be looking at, rather than the usual things that we focus on in terms of bringing revenue to Ghana. And I think that my honorable brothers, constituent, especially the farmers, will be very much happy to see their MP bring this to the attention of the world. It definitely has benefit, but it also has challenges. And these challenges will have to be looked at, and especially we bring it to the attention of the Minister of Agric, who I believe will be interested in supporting these kind of projects, not only in the area where this grows at the moment, but to actually do a scientific test to see whether this will grow elsewhere, because the potential of this in being a foreign exchange earner is actually huge. I thank the maker of the statement and all other who made statement that we have all not been able to contribute to. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take the opportunity to apologize to those who have statement advertised but we could not take. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Solomon Koyon had an emergency, and I think he communicated that, and I believe you are aware of it. That is why we skipped. So we will make sure that his statement and the others that we were not able to take today will be rescheduled so that they will be able to make their statements as well. Mr. Speaker, I would like to end here and thank you very much for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader. Honourable members, I will give some consequential directives, particularly regarding the statement made by Honourable Koko Asante and Honourable Alasan. I will direct the clerk to transmit the statement made by Honourable Koko Asante on mortality rate to the Health Minister, and that of Honorable Alasan to the Minister of Food and Agriculture. I so direct. Yes, statement time is ended. Yes, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, I think we have exhausted what we planned to do today. And as you are aware, tomorrow we have a workshop. So members want to be able to leave here in a good time to prepare for that workshop. Mr. Speaker, we have not been here for 5 hours. So I would like to move a motion that, Mr. Speaker, this House adjourns until next week, Tuesday. What time are we? Is it 2 o'clock? Yeah. Tuesday, 10 o'clock, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, motion move. Any seconder?
Speaker, I have no issue seconding the motion except to remind the Majority Leader that we still don't have clarity on the workshop, the post-budget, whether it's going to be residential or not. The Majority Chair Whip related to me that we will have to meet the clerk to get it firmed up. I want to plead with you that you should add your authority, because between now and tomorrow is a short time. So that
Honourable
we can
Member,
get...
the indication is that previously we did it in Parliament here, non-residents, and this one will also be non-residents. So we need to get it clear. So until otherwise changed, we should make our mind and prepare that it is non-residents.
Mr. Speaker, precisely what you have said, that as it stands, it's non-residential. But my understanding is that the whips are working behind the scenes to see if that can be changed. But definitely, we will add our voice to it to bring a finality to what we are going to be doing tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes.
Score, I rise to second the motion moved by the Deputy Leader of the House. I thank you.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. As many as are in favor of the motion for adjournment, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, 18th November 2025 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.